compared against actual sensory input so that you can correct what you're doing. So for instance, if you go to move a sofa, your brain anticipates how heavy it will be, what the fabric will feel like, and so on, so that you know how much force to put behind it, and you can correct yourself if you need to. Sometimes action schema are generated automatically, like when you move a sofa, and sometimes you can generate them yourself when you mentally rehearse some action. When you go, okay, I'm going to go on stage, it's going to look like this, the lines of the music are going to sound like this. That's your brain anticipating sensory input. Carruthers thinks that creativity lies in generating new and valuable action schema. When you're writing poetry, you anticipate what those words will sound like or what that image would look like. When you're painting, you anticipate how the paint will look on the canvas. When you dance, you anticipate how your body will feel in those positions. When you improvise, action schema are generated so quickly and automatically that you might even be surprised by what comes out of you. There's also some evidence to suggest that when people engage in scientific creativity, they construct mental models of the thing they're investigating using action schema. Think about the plum pudding model of atomic structure versus the central nucleus model. Those are both ways of thinking about the structures of atoms that rely on a visual picture to help you understand it, even though atoms are too small to be seen. Or think about Watson and Crick using actual physical models to try and figure out what the structure of DNA would look like to human eyes. Thinking of creativity as this kind of automatic sensory imagination explains a few things. It explains why you can be disappointed when you try and be creative. You anticipate that the painting will look a certain way, but you can't quite get it to look on the canvas how it looks in your head. And have you ever heard people say that hallucinogenic drugs like LSD help them with creativity? Well, it would, because it changes the way your brain processes sensory information. And it explains why just copying somebody else's work isn't creative. You didn't generate those action schema yourself, you just got some sensory input and now you're remembering it in order to copy it. And you know how people sometimes look to the natural world for creative inspiration, looking at how a bee flies in order to inspire a piece of music, or an actor looking at the way an animal moves in order to try and incorporate those movement patterns into a new character they're creating. That's all using sensory information. Action schema. You see? So many people think that creativity is this mysterious, unknowable phenomenon. There's a whole industry of people making books and sometimes even YouTube videos just dedicated to wallowing in that mystery and not explaining it. But that's because creativity is like a magic trick. It only looks mysterious and supernatural when you don't know how it works. But there's actually a very ordinary explanation, and you can do it because you generate action schema every single day for everything you do. In order to be creative, you just need to know how to generate new and valuable ones. And in part 2 of this series, I'll be teaching you how to be creative. Patreon.com/philosophytube is where the fans of this show chuck me a couple of bucks every month to try and keep me making free education on YouTube and also just keep me eating and paying the rent. And if you donate $15 or more, you can see parts 2 and 3 of this series right now. But if that's not your bag, so you don't miss part 2, don't forget to subscribe.